Pareidolia is the psychological phenomena where we see faces wherever we look. Faces aren't necessarily there, but we see them anyway.
We're the happy headers. Stay tuned and we'll tell you about some of the scary faces we've seen.
The example that I go to mostly with this is, you remember when you're a child and you're lying out in the grass and you're looking up at the clouds and you see faces. You see the man in the cloud with a big beard.
Yes.
Or, you know.
Yeah, you see all sorts.
You see all kinds of faces.
Horses or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And they're not there, but you are making out images of what you expect to be there.
Yeah, so this is how your mind processes an image when it comes into the prefrontal cortex. It is, made into something that you recognise, isn't it?
And you see, going back to us being babies, when you were a baby, the first thing you saw was somebody's, cute, and you had a big face down in front of you, and your eyes developed the ability to actually perceive faces.
And recognise
them.
them.
You became pre-programmed to recognise faces first.
Yeah.
And especially like how the face was in relation to you, whether it was a threat or whether it was happy, or whether it was going to feed you, and all of this. So that remains with us.
Yeah.
And if you go on social media or certain websites, you'll see people seeing faces like in bread, in tomatoes, the face of Jesus or Mary.
So weird, isn't it?
Or one was the face of Jesus in the arse of a dog.
Stop it.
And if I can find it, I might post it with you. But many of you will know that one. Just perceiving faces. Where they're not there. And a lot of people, there was somebody who had a sideboard and there was a pattern in the grain on the wood, and he said that looks like the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And he got people visiting his house on a pilgrimage, and they were making donations.
Oh my God.
But
even I suppose like the man on the moon, like if you look at the moon, for long enough you'll see a face on it as well. And you showed me something very interesting actually here a while back about Mars, which I hadn't seen. My God, I couldn't believe it. It's so real, I swear. It actually looks like a person's face.
It looks a little bit like the Sphinx from Egypt.
Coming out of the thing.
It's a rock. I won't even say it's a rock formation, it's just like it's a big kind of boulder. But the way the light is shining on it, the shadows seem to create eyes or like half a face. And many people said this is proof that there was life on Mars, that there was ancient people, maybe that built structures like the Sphinx. And then what happened was when Mars started to get into trouble and lose its atmosphere, they migrated to Earth and recreated the same thing.
Wow.
But
wouldn't that be an interesting theory?
Yes. But it's got to do with the angle of the photograph. And the light at that time, and dust and everything else like that, that we perceive it to be a face, because that's the nearest thing we can match it to.
I mean, even like, when you think about, Lourdes and, over like religion's a big thing in Ireland, really, religious sites. And the people say like they see they see the statue of Mary is moving, you know. And I remember my husband was telling me that they played a very bad prank somewhere in Clara where they got a fishing twine and started moving the statue, and there was all these people going, oh my God, the Blessed Virgin Mary is moving in front of my eyes. And it fucking wasn't happening at all. It was a crowd of little gangsters.
Isn't it? It's interesting. Like a lot of people who profess to be religious would be very uneducated as regards to the Bible and the Scripture, because it actually says in Scripture in the Old Testament, don't make images of anything that's in heaven or anything that you think in heaven. Don't make graven images such as paintings or statues. And yet the church is chock-a-block full of these things. So when you kind of have a statue and it starts moving or it starts winking at you, that's just a block of stone, and it's trickery, at best.
Gotta be.
But Leonardo da Vinci, he used to stare into flames of fire at night to get inspiration for what it is he wanted to draw his mind. He would be in a hypnotic state. I used to do this as a kid as well. I used to love looking at a coal fire and seeing all the heat and the shadows of the heat. I would imagine faces or dragons or things in it like that would inspire.
It's very meditative, I think, if you look at a flame. Even like asking people to look at a candle or that and just rest and be with the candle for like 5 minutes, you know, just takes your mind off everything.
Yeah.
You're just observing it, that's it.
You are, and your mind is going to tell you everything you know about the candle and the flames and that, so that becomes that becomes the object. But this flooding the mind with information and data about whatever it is you're observing happens all the time.
Yeah.
You're blissfully unaware
You're
of it.
trying to identify or the heat or whatever it is that you feel and see.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
So we used to work, the old house that we grew up in, it was very damp, and in one of the bedrooms used to be like moisture condensation trickling down the walls. But also my mother told us that when we were kids one day we got a bag of nails from somewhere and we were down in the room, we were actually chipping away at the plaster wall before she came down and to stop us. And the wall was never replastered, it was just kind of painted over. But I remember as a child sitting up in bed looking at these little indentations in the wall and being able to make out pictures of them. Creative, I suppose, you know.
They say that as well, if you stare at wallpaper long enough as well, you'll make...
Oh, if you're sitting on the loo, do you ever do that? Like you're sitting on the loo and you start seeing unicorns and dragons and ogres, trolls.
All sorts of things.
Depends how long you sit in the loo for.
Coming out at you,
You know, if you're kind of distracted. It's one of the greatest places to be on earth, just sit in the loo and just do your meditation there.
Is that why you have all your magazines stocked up in the bathroom here?
Oh, yes. I spent a lot of time in the bathroom. Actually, I need to get a private bathroom here because I'm fed up with people knocking on the door. But even with vegetables, you ever see those pictures on Instagram?
I know,
like a carrot with legs.
And arms, and it looks like a little man.
Or a potato face.
Yes. Yeah. That's where the idea for Mr. Potato Man came out of.
Potato Head from... Was he Potato Head or Potato Man from Toy Story?
Potato Man. Yeah, Mr. Potato Man.
Yeah.
I had one of them, I think. I think I had him when I was small.
Did you?
Yeah, but it was a hand-me-down from one of my cousins.
Oh,
he had Mr. Potato Man.
Wow.
He was so cool. All his bits used to come off and then you had to put them back together again.
What?
Yeah, he was deadly.
Let us know if you've got pictures of any faces or carrots with limbs or oddities like that. Post them in the comments down below.
We'd love to see them, guys.
Okay. We're Happy Headers and we'll talk to you soon.